An outline is another way to organize information. It's organized in a list. If you haven't used outlines in school, you probably will start to do that soon. It starts with a topic at the top, and then each category begins with a Roman numeral. In this case, there are 5 categories. Those categories are indented, and then your facts are going to go underneath each category one at a time. So if you had 3 facts under category 1, you would indent, and each one would start with a capital letter, and you would write your facts that way. If there were details about one of the facts, then you would indent again below that fact, and you would have a number, and then you would have small letters, and etc. In this case, we only collected 20 facts, so we only need a list of facts. We don't need sub-details. Once you've had your diagram checked and approved, you're ready to turn it into an outline. That's the next step. Normally, when you create an outline, you're going to create one from scratch. But one of the reasons that we use inspiration to collect and organize our information is because it will automatically create the outline for you. This part is one of the easiest steps in this whole project. There are only 2 steps to the outline. The first step is to click on the outline button in the top left corner of the inspiration window. When I click on the outline button, it turns my diagram into an outline. The second step is just to make sure that every item in the outline is in chronological or time order. This is why it was important to collect dates or ages with each piece of information. So I have the topic at the top. Then each category becomes a Roman numeral, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And all the facts that were attached to that category are now with that section. And they're indented, and they have a letter, capital letter, in front of them. So now I have to read and make sure that everything's in order. Well, starting with the categories, my first category should be not becoming famous, but growing up. So I'm going to grab the Roman numeral 2, and I'm going to drag it straight up and drop it above Roman numeral 1. Now growing up moved to the top, and all of the facts that were in the growing up category moved with it. The next category should be becoming famous, then biggest accomplishments, so that's going to go up as number 3. 4 should be latest news, and finally websites used will be last. Now I have to read all the facts within each category. So most likely I'm going to start with the date he was born and where he was born. So I'm going to move this letter C up to be B. So I have when he was born, I have where he was born, something about his father, something that happened when he was 10, something that happened in 1831, something that happened in 1816. So now I have to figure out what order those 3 events go in. Okay, well, obviously 1816 comes before 1831, but when was he 10 years old? Well, obviously I can figure that out by adding 10 to the year he was born. So that would be 1819. So I'm going to move this F up to there, and now those are in order. 1816, that would be 1819, and 1831. Next category, he was captain in the Black Hawk War. I don't know when that was. I don't have a date for that. So what I might have to do is go and find the date. And I can easily do that because I have my websites where I got the information. So I can click on one of these, and they are active links that should take me to that website. On that website, I can either look around and try to find it, or I can do a search. Black Hawk War was in 1832. That's one way to search it. Another way is I can do a search just on this page. And this will work not only in Wikipedia, but this will work on any web page. I can go to Edit, and I can choose Find, and then I want this Find. It's also Command F. So if I do that, and I look up Black Hawk, there it is, Black Hawk War. He was in military service in 1832. Okay, so I have my answer. I'm going to close that. I'm going to add it like that. So I have 1832, I have 1834, I have he got married, he had 4 boys, and in 1858. Now let's say that I found out the Black Hawk War was not in 1832. Let's say I found out it was in 1830. Now, this item comes before this one that's in a different category. Okay? And if that were the case, then I do have to move one of these to a different category. Okay? Because I want the facts in chronological order from top all the way down to the bottom. So I would have to grab this one or that one and move it. Just like that. So now I have 1830, 1831, 1834. When he got married, that's something I have to go and find also. Okay, so I looked up the word married. Here are my first 2 occurrences. There are 5, so I'm going to hit the next arrow. They were married in 1842. I'm going to assume that they had the 4 boys after their marriage, and then this happened in 1858. He was the 16th president of the United States, elected president in 1860, so that can probably go up at the top. Then 1863, 1864, I have 1861. And then the latest news was when he died, 1865, April 14th, April 15th, May 4th. When you're finished putting your outline in order, then you're going to call me over and I'm going to check your outline. Now, if you see something like this, that's not right. Okay, what that means is that you did not group your facts around the category, but rather you made them in a line like that. So you can either fix that here, or you can fix that in the outline by clicking the left arrow to move them back. So every fact should be a letter.